How are you doing?
Good. It's hot here. Is it hot
S-
there?
Same here. It's very hot here.
So there's some confusion about whether or not there is a meeting.
Yeah, there should be a meeting. I'm just putting things in the engine there right now. But yeah, it's going to be a fairly short one, more like a, let's say,
Okay.
update thing. Because, I mean, basically today is the 4th of July, so a lot of people are out. There's not much, well, there is stuff happening in general, but that's going to be the update that we're going to share. So yeah, I'm just having trouble here. Ah, okay. Okay. Now it's working. Okay, sorry for being totally late with this, but we also have Noah. And I think, if I remember correctly, we should have help today from Khalid in Toronto, right? Khalid, are you there? Okay, that may mean many things. The silence may mean many things. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do it the old school way. And I'm just going to go into the control panel and we're going to try and record this thing using video. And there's going to be some updates actually about this as well, because this is going to be. Mm, mm, I just wonder if this is going to work. Sorry. Oh, God. If I paste this, this is going to be scary. Okay, I'm getting voices here. Sorry. uh, Okay, so this is working finally. We will be going live on the usual channels of video and whatnot in a few seconds. I'm just going to paste the agenda into the SUMO channel.
Tor 5F Shepherd. Maybe that's him. He just joined.
I'm not sure. But yeah, Khalid, is that you? Oh, sorry, we're getting chat here. Air Mozilla, hey, Khalid. Okay, that could be you because that's what Andy said yesterday. That
All right.
Okay, we're currently broadcasting on InExpo. Okay, so we're actually live. This is the scary part. Okay. So we might already be live. This is scary. Sorry for that then. I'm just gonna make sure this is being recorded. Anyway, So, we're live indeed. Hello, everybody. This is the Sumo Community Meeting on the 4th of July, which for many Mozillians around the world, or actually around the world, based in the US, but generally, if you're from the US, in the US, working with US people, uh, you are probably celebrating today. So, there's not that much that we can expect from you today because you're off celebrating the Independence Day. Um, so as you can see, the meeting is severely underpopulated. We don't have Roland. Well, Roland is in Canada, but still, we don't have Johnny. We don't have Rachel. That doesn't mean we don't have any updates. There will be some updates coming your way in a few minutes. But yeah, in general, today and a bit of tomorrow, because many people may have actually taken a day off for tomorrow as well in the US. Please, if you are involved in any projects related to teams working in the US or well, being supervised by anybody or contributed to by anybody who is in the US and they're a full-time employee of Mozilla, please remember this is day off, so there may not be around for today and tomorrow. And in the US, there's not that many days off, so they definitely do take care of their holidays when they happen. I pasted the link to the Google Doc that we're still using in interim for the agenda. Apologies to all the Etherpad fans. Etherpad will no longer be supported for various reasons. And apologies for to all the people who have trouble and issues and generally bad taste in their mouth when they think about Google Docs. We will not be using Google Docs in the long run, most likely. There is around 500 documents we would have to move from Etherpad to the wiki pages using a special tool for that. So we may be considering this at some point, and this could be a joint effort if anybody will be interested in helping us out with this. But yeah, we have to figure out where to put the notes soon because it's not good to have them in too many things.
I'll help up with that.
Thank you very much for the offer, Chris. We'll definitely talk more about this when we have Rachel back on board as well, because she's off today and tomorrow, but we definitely want to tackle this as soon as possible and at the beginning of the quarter to make sure that we get it out of the way. Documentation is fairly important to a lot of people who are not attending these meetings live or are not following them live. And having an agenda in a solid place like the MozWiki should be, hopefully, should make things easier. So let's get on with the agenda. Thanks to Chris and thanks to Noah for being here. I'm also going to be lurking a bit on the IRC channel just to make sure that there's no droppage of any questions, so I don't forget anything. I'm going to be maybe going a bit back and forth between those two screens here. But let's move on with the agenda. We haven't had any action items from last week. Last week, generally, the meeting was, and apologies for that, it was canceled due to technical issues. There was something not working properly with video and Slack as well at the same time. So we just, there was an issue, it was resolved. Fortunately, we're back. So yeah, that's the good news. And moving onwards, we have some cool news of the week. So first of all, there's an opportunity for anybody interested in getting involved in the pre-release Firefox Focus for Android. So if you are using an Android device and if you would like to test the pre-release versions of Firefox Focus for Android, which may be a bit wonky, experimental. They will not melt your device, but they might just not work properly or something may be popping up in weird ways, although it shouldn't. There is a link to a discourse thread added by Saburo. Thank you very much, Saburo. And if you want to help testing, if testing is something you want to try out, this is a great opportunity. You don't have to be an expert tester. Anybody can apply, anybody can participate. You just have to be an Android user. So that's the first update. The second update is that Air Mozilla is going to be changing. So it's actually changing already. And yeah, we had a bit of a training yesterday with Rachel regarding this. But what's going to happen is we're going to be using a new front end for broadcasting and we're basically going to jump out of video and go full Air Mozilla, but we're not doing this just yet. So expect more news about this soon. We want to make sure that everybody on the team knows what's going on and why. We went through a technical preview yesterday of this. It was really cool as an admin tool and so on. Uh, I think if I remember correctly, you should still be able to dial in through video. But yeah, these are the things that I have written down somewhere, and I don't want to bore you with that just yet. We're going to be uh, we're going to be updating you in general before the meeting. Sorry, before the next week's meetings happen, so that you will be able to participate if you want to. That's new. And oh yeah, sorry, I skipped the roundtable items. I'm terrible. Please shout at me. So, it appears that the WebMaker app has been removed from the Google Play Store. Should we remove the support form and archive the KB content? That's a question by Saburo for the WebMaker app. That is a very good call. I guess we could, and this is just me speaking from a very neutral, non-web maker oriented standpoint. I guess it's just fair if we just archive the content indeed and make sure that the form is not uh, clogging things up there if the webmaker app is gone. So please give us some time to confirm that and just make sure that we do this, that we retire this content in a graceful way, because it would be super bad if we just did it the wrong way and then people would actually be still looking for it. But yeah, this should definitely happen again within the next week. So it's just a matter of checking with a couple of stakeholders and making sure that we retire this content if that's the applicable course of action in a proper manner. And a question from Chris: any actions set as a result of the Analyse and Tal report? So yeah, the first. Uh, this is going to be a complex answer, so I'm happy this is being broadcast and recorded at the same time. And you're in the room, so you can follow up, of course, if you want. So the Analyse and Tal report is the first part, or actually, it's not the first part. It's a part of a bigger research project that we have together with Open Innovation into how support works at Mozilla and outside of Mozilla, what are the possible experiments or options that we can do, and so on. So based on that one particular report that was shared with you a while ago through the blog, and in a bit more depth, and the slides were shared in there as well, in all their glory, uh, that alone is fueling or is informing a wider strategy that is being slowly finalized. Well, slowly. It was discussed a lot, and it was mentioned in the all hands in San Francisco during that all hands. And we will be sharing this. I'm in the process of writing blog posts, and I'm sorry for being so slow. It's just it takes time to write them properly. I don't want to do a sloppy job with that, and there are other things happening as well that I'm going to mention in a few minutes. But generally, that report and all the other research projects so far are tied into the bigger strategy that we're going to be sharing with you soon. And some of it will be going onto the blog soon as well, because we definitely want to keep it transparent. And as much as there are no final decisions taken just yet, it will be good for everybody in the community interested in seeing what's going on to have a sneak peek at what potentially we could be doing. So the actions are generally sharing the information out for all the other research that we have out there, sharing the information out for the other discussions that have happened in San Francisco and outside of San Francisco as well, between the leadership of marketing, the Open Innovation team, our team, the support team, and other stakeholders potentially. Uh, and I can only say you can potentially expect, I think, from what we've talked earlier today with Madalena and thing, you can expect more research, more ways of getting more insight, and smaller or bigger experiments. So the data that showed us a very high concentration of high quality core dedicated contributors in a very small number of people, that definitely is a very clear sign that we have to make support a bit more resistant to being so fragile. Like it's just right now, if one person or if two people or five people decide to stop supporting for whatever reason, that may actually put a lot of things out of balance when it comes to support. And we definitely want to avoid that. So it's about spreading the risk or kind of mitigating burnout risk or basically vacancy risk by getting more people on board. And this may be addressed through a bunch of different ways. There may be an experiment where, when we're promoting Sumo to anybody who's being onboarded as a full-time Mozilla employee, and they will actually have a stint in the forums as a contributor. They will be nicely asked, to participate, to go through the training, to do everything like for a week or two. There will be more efforts of putting support on the general map of the organization as an impactful part of it that shapes the perception of Firefox outside and is the front line of interaction with the users, who are our biggest stakeholders outside of Mozilla, I would say. So and the Mozillians community. So there will be smaller and bigger things happening, but all of these will be there may be shared or led by shared with or led by the Open Innovation team, us and other stakeholders, and they may have different results. So there is no overarching goal other than maintain support and provide quality support for future products as well, and support the users as much as possible. But there may be small explorations of certain ideas, something totally new. We may be
Hmm.
shutting something down and stuff like that. So yeah, generally, as a result of that one report, nothing in particular, but there will be more things as a result of all the information we've gathered in the first half of the year. Whew,
Yeah,
that was,
I agree with what you said. I mean, I had another chance to read over the entire report this time and think about it more. And I think there was some discussion about how to get more core contributors. And I was thinking more about that and realized that it's an unrealistic goal because I was thinking about other times when people have become regular contributors and then left for one reason or another. People like, let's say, Michael Verdi. He doesn't contribute anymore, but that's not because of Sumo or because of anything that was done on Sumo. It's just that he got a new job.
yeah,
I've stopped contributing for like a couple of years, and it's because I got a new job and then I got into a relationship and I didn't have time for Sumo. And so expecting people to contribute so much over what, like 7 years,
yeah,
that's unrealistic. And given the fact that Sumo is powered by volunteers who presumably have a job and a social life, then we should target more towards regular contributors instead of core contributors and work on turnover, making it easy for people to come and go as they please, and make sure Sumo is immune from that turnover. So I agree with what you said about not relying on so many or so little core contributors.
yeah. That's the thing. Like we have been looking into the ways other communities are doing this. We have been looking into the ways that we've been doing it so far. And like you said, Chris, I mean, there are many, many different kind of risk factors. And as much as possible, we have to figure out bigger or smaller ways of continuing or maintaining the support levels we have and improving them and improving the quality as well and so on. Not thinking about the number of people, just thinking about the goals we have for how many people come there to ask questions, how can we help them. Maybe getting more contributors is not feasible, like you just said, and it's just not going to happen. We're not going to have more contributors because it would be hard, but there have to be some other ways, some other methods of supporting people on support.mozilla.org, but also outside of it. So there were talks of some Reddit bots, for example, scanning Reddit for people complaining about Firefox, and directing them to the support site, to the KB articles and stuff like that. Uh, we have to figure out how to do this in maybe some innovative ways. But yeah, as much as possible, like nobody's shutting
Clippy,
support down.
Clippy was ahead of its time.
Pretty much, right? And we all mocked it, and that's nobody wants to admit that. But yeah, so there are many, many different possibilities there, and yeah, definitely there will be a bit more about that. There will be additional blog posts around the research we had from the Copenhagen Institute of Interaction Design, and there will be more information about the chat with leadership of marketing, so Chad and Yasha on the Mozilla side. But that, of course, has to wait a bit because there's a lot of stuff brewing after, like, as a direct aftermath, let's say, of the end of the first half of the year, the meetings in San Francisco, and so on and so forth. And there will be a post about what's happening in Elton. I'm going to mention it in a second, and forum and social as well. Rachel is going to be working on a post. I'm going to help her out on that. So we will be sharing this information with you as soon as possible. But yeah, for now, there are just many things that we have to really decide whether we do this or we do that. And we're still at that stage. But anyway, let's move on with the agenda because I
Yeah.
just talked my head off here. And thank you for a very good question because it's definitely very, very important to share this part with you. For the platform update, we have an agenda. Take a look. If there are no agenda items, the meeting will not be happening. Again, the main update is right now. I guess we still don't have any new developers. There's the main project I would say for on the platform side is making sure that we get a visual refresh so that we look a bit better and more Mozilla-like compared to the homepage of Mozilla. And there has been an issue with notifications. This has been solved by PMAC, so thanks to PMAC for being there. And yeah, it was caused generally by a lack of updates to the code base, and that caused some glitches in the scripts that are responsible for sending notifications. But that should be figured out now. There was another minor thing, and thank you for reporting that, about the product drop-down not showing version 62 for testing and stuff like that. So there are minor, bigger and smaller things happening. The most important ones are, or the ones that affect things the most, I guess, for more people, are taken care of as soon as possible without any developer involvement, if possible. Otherwise, we really have to, ask around and see who can help us out. Moving onwards, for the contributors of the week, please nominate people if you have any. I haven't had the chance to. I sent a lot of messages to other people, but I haven't had the chance to actually analyze what's going on. I did look into the knowledge base numbers, and I also looked into the general alternate team meeting. So these are the two updates. I know I should be presenting you with the stats for June because it actually finished. That's going to happen next week, I promise, and you will see more numbers regarding KB edits in different languages and the top locales. But in general, we've had over 340 revisions in the KB in the last week, so thank you very much for that, everybody who participated. You've done an awesome job updating the KB for the last Firefox release, the most recent one. And sorry, I joined the Eltenen meetings that are happening for product and different parts of Mozilla in general, because that became a bit of a kind of a necessity, because we potentially will be trying as one of the first kind of joint efforts an alternate collaboration across all of Mozilla regarding the release of version 64 or maybe 63 or maybe 65. This is up in the air. This was only mentioned fairly recently. But what that would mean is basically one place to find all the information regarding all of localization happening for a particular release. So I would still be informing you what's happening in SUMO, but if somebody is a localizer across Mozilla and they are using the main mailing list or the main blog, or they're kind of hanging out in the big usual places for LTN, they will also see that SUMO is looking for content localization, stuff like that. So there's the idea here is basically to cross-reference information from around Mozilla regarding release materials, because that's very important for us to get done as soon as possible for every release. And we have too many places for too many people. to check. So right now it's more about just saying, okay, there's going to be one page, one newsletter, one something. We're still figuring it out. A lot of people may be going on summer holidays and stuff like that. So that's why we're not doing it for 62. So maybe it's going to be 63 or 64. And when that happens, it should be much easier for any localizer across Mozilla to just know, okay, this is for that release, what is out there in English, and whether I can localize it or not depends totally on me and the other members of the community. But at least we have this in one place. We don't have to, second guess who's who and where they're coming from, or second guess where the content is and what's prioritized higher or lower. Okay, so that's the Elton and oh yeah, I should probably drop this. Okay, and yeah, for support forum and social support, we don't have any updates because Rachel is celebrating independence. Woohoo! Jokes are on holidays as well. We're super deadly serious here today. And yeah, we will be definitely back next week with a community meeting. So apologies if this was a bit boring and a one-man show. Well, Chris, you helped me a lot, so actually it was a two-man show, which was really cool. I'm just going to take a very quick look on IRC because I kind of skipped the responsibility of checking, but it seems to be okay there. No questions. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sticking around. We will be in touch. More information and stuff coming your way soon. Keep being awesome to each other, and thank you so much for being a part of Mozilla and making things happen because it's on you, on everybody, of course, me as well. But anyway, cheers, and yeah, talk to you soon.
Okay, go England.
We'll see. Bye.
Okay, bye.